Nirvana was a rock band formed in Aberdeen, Washington in 1987 by lead singer and guitarist Kurt Cobain and bassist Chris Novoselic. The band tried several drummers before recruiting Dave Grohl in 1990. Nirvana's success popularized alternative rock in the early 90s, and their music maintains a popular following and continues to influence modern rock and roll culture. If you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. Singer and guitarist Kurt Cobain and bassist Chris Novoselic met while attending Aberdeen High School in Washington State. The pair became friends while frequenting the practice space of the Melvins, a local band. Cobain wanted to form a band with Novoselic, but Novoselic did not respond for a long period. Cobain gave him a demo tape of his project, Fecal Matter. 3 years after the two first met, Novoselic notified Cobain that he had finally listened to the Fecal Matter demo and suggested they start a group. During its initial months, the band went through a series of names, including Skid Row, Pencapchu, and Ted Ed Fred. The group settled on Nirvana because, according to Cobain, I wanted a name that was kind of beautiful, or nice, and pretty, instead of a mean, raunchy punk name. After having gone through many different members over several years, in June of 1989, Nirvana established itself as part of the Seattle grunge scene, releasing its first album, Bleach, for the independent record label Sub Pop. Although Sub Pop did not promote Bleach as much as other releases, it was a steady seller and had initial sales of 40,000 copies. However, Cobain was upset by the label's lack of promotion and distribution. In September 1990, after multiple disagreements with drummer Chad Channing, the band settled on Dave Grohl. Grohl auditioned for Novoselic and Cobain days after arriving in Seattle. Novoselic later said, "We knew in 2 minutes that he was the right drummer." After finally solving the drummer dilemma, the band began working on finding a new label. They met Alice in Chains and Soundgarden manager Susan Silver, who introduced them to agent Don Mueller and music business attorney Alan Mintz. Mintz started sending out Nirvana's demo tape to major labels, looking for deals. Following repeated recommendations by Sonic Youth's Kim Gordon, Nirvana signed to GGC Records in 1990. After signing, the band began recording its first major label album, Nevermind. The group was offered a number of producers, but held out for Vig. Rather than record at Vig's Madison studio, as they had in 1990, production shifted to Sound City Studios in Van Nuys. For 2 months, the band worked through a variety of songs. Some, such as In Bloom and Breed, had been in Nirvana's repertoire for years, while others, including On a Plane and Stay Away, lacked finished lyrics until midway through the recording process. After the recording sessions were completed, Vig and the band set out to mix the album. However, the recording sessions had run behind schedule, and the resulting mixes were deemed unsatisfactory. Slayer mixer Andy Wallace was brought in to create the final mix. After the album's release, members of Nirvana expressed dissatisfaction with the polished sound. The first single, Smells Like Teen Spirit, quickly gained momentum, boosted by major airplay of the music video on MTV. As it toured Europe during late '91, the band found that its shows were dangerously oversold. The television crews were becoming constant presence on stage, and that Smells Like Teen Spirit was almost omnipresent on radio and music television. By Christmas of '91, Nevermind was selling 400,000 copies a week in the US. In January '92, the album displaced Michael Jackson's Dangerous at number 1 and topped the charts in numerous other countries. Citing exhaustion, Nirvana decided not to undertake another American tour in support of Nevermind, instead opting to make only a handful of performances later that year. Early in '92, Cobain decided to change the percentages of royalties between the band members. This was fine by the others, but Cobain then insisted this be retroactive to the release of Nevermind, which bothered the other two and formed a division that never went away. Nirvana headlined the closing night of England's 1992 Reading Festival. Cobain personally programmed the performance lineup. Nirvana's performance at Reading is often regarded by the press as one of the most memorable of the group's career. A few days later, Nirvana performed at the MTV Video Music Awards, and the band received awards for the Best Alternative Video and Best New Artist categories. That same year, December of '92, the band released a compilation album called Insecticide. And then, for their third album, Nirvana chose producer Steve Albini, but later settled on longtime REM producer Scott Litt to remix some songs, with Cobain adding more instrumentation and backing vocals. In Utero topped American and British album charts. Time critic Christopher Farley wrote in his review, "Despite the fears of some alternative music fans, Nirvana hasn't gone mainstream, though this potent new album may once again force the mainstream to go Nirvana." In Utero went on to sell over 5 million copies in the United States, and in October, Nirvana embarked on its first tour of the United States in 2 years. For this tour, the band added Pat Smear of the punk rock band Germs as a second guitarist. In early 1994, Nirvana embarked on a European tour. Their final concert took place in Munich, Germany, on March 1st. In Rome, on the morning of March 4th, Cobain's wife, Courtney Love, found Cobain unconscious in their hotel room, and he was rushed to the hospital. Cobain had reacted to a combination of rohypnol and alcohol, and the rest of the tour was canceled. In the ensuing weeks, Cobain's heroin addiction resurfaced. Following an intervention, Cobain was persuaded to enter drug rehab. After less than a week, he left the facility without informing anyone, returning to Seattle. 1 week later, on April 8, 1994, Cobain was found dead, apparently of a self-inflicted shotgun wound. Nirvana is one of the best-selling bands of all time, having sold more than 75 million records. Nevermind, their most successful album, has sold more than 30 million copies worldwide, making it one of the best-selling albums ever. Their most successful song, Smells Like Teen Spirit, is among the best-selling singles of all time, having sold 8 million copies. Thank you so much for watching. Please help and support the channel by hitting that subscribe button and checking the description for some cool videos.